Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Batman Arkham City. So, let's see, we were running around having trouble figuring out how to get um, some of these puzzles, these Riddler trophies. And then we were very disappointed in what turning off the security cameras does. Like, the thing here, let's see if we can get a slightly higher. Uh, like,
Yeah, that's the way to deal with criminals.
Yeah, never more truer words have been spoken. Like, at the post game, there's just no helicopters anywhere. Anyways, so turning off the security cameras basically did nothing. I, so there's a button here, and then it has the arrows that point upward. And what it wants you to do, and this is the second time this has happened, is it wants you to dive bomb on there, but it gives you literally no indication that that's the goal. Plus, you can get to like that point, or that point, or that point, but that's pretty much it.
No way.
This is hardly a case of an area.
Too scared to fight us?
Bane get to be in Arkham City.
So yeah, it wants me to dive bomb, and it seems like it wants me to dive bomb at a fairly high point. And I don't know if maybe I just messed up the dive bomb there, or what.
Focus on keeping warm.
And like, this riddle, can you defeat a mind such as mine, has nothing to do with that. There's, like, they really didn't put in any thought into this at all. Like, and that's kind of the problem with this whole game, is that there's clearly a lack of thought that has been put.
I don't care where you've gone. I'll find you one day and kick the living crap out of you.
It's not dead. I don't believe it.
Like, you would have expected it to. So that was the spot.
It's trapped my buddy Ash. He was lucky to get away. Still got scars in places I don't like to think about.
So yeah, there's a whole trick there, clearly, as far as the right way to pull off.
Batman's here.
These tricks, and there's just no explanation happening as far as how you're really supposed to solve this. Okay. So on this one, now that we know you can explode things, then we've got the opportunity for 3 things and and another thing. And I think once you hit it, you're fine, so. This is a very big area that, once again, I think was designed to remind you that you could individually blow up
Is Catwoman still alive in a place like this?
the explosives, but it's not really gonna do a great job on that. And even at this, I kind of need, like, I kind of need some time because
Here?
unless this goes here. Yeah, you have 4 seconds after hitting the first one. So you hit this one and then you detonate the rest of them to get the rest. And I guess in that case,
City Council that made him so damn powerful.
like, I guess in that specific case, you really don't have to individually activate the explosives. You just had to. I guess I could have pulled that off at any point, and I just wasn't thinking it through. That's definitely an issue here. We keep seeing this over and over again. And see, this one was just an extremely late game hack. If anything, this one Riddler trophy definitely feels like it may have been designed to be the last Riddler trophy that you would ever get, and that you would almost certainly get it after the main game had happened. So I'm assuming that even if you didn't have the Catwoman DLC, I suspect
Woman shouldn't get
you would
involved in other
still
people's
have
business.
a post-game
She could get
experience
hurt.
with Batman. Alright, well. Come on, just smash this guy.
Batman's here!
Alright, well, we'll just interrogate this guy and see if he gives us
I
any
can
more.
hurt you more than you can
hints.
imagine.
Like,
Tell
there
me about Riddler.
honestly couldn't be that many more
Okay.
places to
I
mark
don't know
on the
much,
map.
but I'll talk. Don't hurt me.
I can't guarantee that.
Yeah, the industrial district. Alright. So we have a glide to this, and then glide to this one,
Has to be a door out.
or and then glide to this one. One. Well, there's actually only 2. So
Place is turning to crap.
let's see, what does this say?
right in front of my eyes.
Can you defeat a mind such as mine? Yeah. Are you up to the challenge? It's just incredibly generic stuff. This might be slightly easier than it seems.
TV right now.
But maybe not.
I'm so hungry. Where'd all the food go anyway?
Yeah, I'm hoping there aren't too many of these, but we know there are at least a couple of these. Where you are going to hit.
Wonder Tower. Who cares about that old crap? It's an eyesore.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be a couple of these that are going to be nightmares.
Here, if I get out
And
of
it
here,
doesn't.
I'm heading straight out of Gotham stinking city. Hell, I'll even give Bloodhaven a shot. Anywhere but here.
Alright. Let's. Yeah. Unless there's another system, it doesn't really want to set me up here to really be able to glide to one, let alone glide down to another area. Let's see.
It's the Bat!
Yeah. And certainly it's not helpful to have a fight at that point. See, this idea.
Riddler's back, huh? Figures. I've seen these weird question marks all over
Interesting.
Arkham City.
That was a different system. Something there. Seems like I only need to hit 2. So.
They're letting us starve. I know it.
Like, so you glide down to this one, and if you hit it, which is a big if, then it seems like you can then
City's worse than the old
hit the other one.
Someone needs to go get a refund.
But the incredible randomness, and I don't know if this is because of a high frame rate or what, in which the system, in which how the system works is,
Gotham can rot for all I care. Hell, it's rotten enough already. I gotta get out of here, go someplace where people dress like bats and clowns.
like, that felt like a different system, but it only activated when I hit that one. Alright, let's look on the... See, and this might be a case where I might just need to look at a look at a YouTube video to figure out. See, hold the glides, hold the A button. Maybe if you just don't let go of the A button, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Because I very possibly am just subconsciously removing my hand from the A button. No.
Welcome to Arkham City. A citywide freak show.
Yeah, I don't get it. I definitely am not getting it. This, and then maybe
A couple of burgers.
something like this, and then hitting that? You think maybe that's it? Just targeting, and then canceling, and then hitting? It seems very weird, but it would make sense that there would be 2 in the same area if that was your goal. This is definitely problematic that... Let's see if there's a slide down the wall ability. We've seen prompts that say slide. When you're... But... And I thought it was the X button where you slid down the wall. Yeah, not seeing anything marked there. It's very possible that we've seen some riddles like this, and instead of being a good system where that worked, whatever. Oh, you gotta hit all 3 of them though.
More snow? Damn it, end already.
This is crazy.
Collecting the reward and buying my way out of here.
You hit this, and then get up to that, and we can't hit it, so you've got to start on this side, and that was a different system. I don't know if that's because I double tapped A or what. That's
It's an eyesore.
insane, really. Just total insanity that there would be a system like that and you just don't use that system ever at all in the main game. Like, certainly would explain a lot as far as why I struggled with this game. If there are 4 or 5 different systems that you could have used but were never really explained. And I could see there being a case where maybe they just expected people to play Arkham Origin. Although certainly the developers of this game don't feel that way, and the publishers of this of the game seem to be more than willing to forget that Arkham Origin even existed. But yeah, that argument doesn't really work for any game.
How much more can you take,
Like,
little girl? Please, help me. No
okay.
one's coming, little girl. You either do what I want, or I kill you here and now.
See, like, this is weird. The biggest insult that a man is willing to do here is call him a girl.
No, please, no.
Then I guess you'll do what I want and
Or call him a little girl.
Thank you. I'm gonna find someplace safe to hide from these animals.
I don't know what you're really gonna accomplish as far as the acts of violence. As far as like the acts of violence submission, it seems like either you're going to make the claim that Batman has literally cleaned up all of Arkham City and gotten rid of all the violent offenders, or you're going to we had collected this before. See, this would be a good point to swap back to Catwoman, but I'm still not sure. Just in the act of swapping to Catwoman, you wouldn't regenerate that wall. And very well may be a case that Catwoman's equipment still needs to be upgraded. Although it might also be a case, and this is not something I had considered before, that when Catwoman says she's going to get all of her stuff back, that literally may just be stolen items that are never shown, not a collection of equipment or gadgets. And yeah, getting distracted with the one side mission messed up my attempt to get the next side mission, the gliding side mission done. I suspect
I heard Black Mask owns the
that's
factory that makes that crap.
interesting. They're talking about Black Mask. I think
Snow's here 24/7. We can thank Mr. Freeze for that.
I think we're supposed to get down here and do a line ride here. Otherwise, I would have to do a fairly long line ride,
I would kill for a cup of joe about now.
like way over there. I'm hoping this is enough to catch the ledge.
Not Joker.
So while we're doing line rides, we might try to line ride out of here, but I guess it's probably not really worth your effort. And this is not gonna
I can't believe
be
Catwoman
cooperative
stole the loot from
anyways.
Stranger's vault. How come I didn't know about it?
That was fairly lucky. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
One minute the choppers are killing us all, the next they're just gone. Hey, I'm not complaining, but it's weird.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that was it. So I could have done that a long time ago. It wasn't a puzzle where you had to blow up anything. We are just cleaning up here. I thought that was going to be much more complicated.
Everyone in this place except Scarecrow. I guess Croc really did tear him apart. Where is it hiding? I bet it's down this way.
Too scared to fight?
Hi. Hi. They keep cocking guns. There's a disarm attack. What's funny is it prompts you these attacks only at specific times, so you really can't even use the unlocked abilities as much as you would like.
Hope you're bulletproof.
There are little pieces of Strange spread all over Arkham City.
Okay. Go ahead and disarm a couple of these so that we can come over here.
I'll go looking for Rich Boy
This
Bruce
is
Wayne.
a whole area that
Pieces of him to his loved
I
ones.
really didn't spend a lot of time around, and as such there's probably quite a lot that I totally missed. It's an underused area. That was weird. To say the least, it's an underused area. Let's go over this way, and this way, and then we'll go here, here, and then here, and then see around these corners to see if these collectibles are in the subway station or not. And then we want to go through the subway station and probably through Wonder City and then through that.
Haven't eaten in days. To hell with this.
Okay. Where are we going? Far in the corner this direction. And I desperately need some kind of local surveillance or something as far as the identity thief killer. Find them. Otherwise, I'm going to never be able to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, so that one hits that one. And then that one. See, the lights don't light up in your detective vision. Hits that one. And then let's go talk to this guy just to make sure we we've talked to him before. Seems like they just kind of stay.
Whoever cut up Wayne knew what he was doing. Why would Wayne do that to someone's face, though? It's weird, right? All those bandages. His father was a famous doctor, but Bruce wastes all his time on money and models.
So clearly the identity thief is just
I guess Wayne must have snapped.
Thomas Wayne.
Can't blame the guy. God
Or
knows how he
Hush.
lasted this long. Whoever cut up Wayne knew what he was doing.
Yeah, there's nothing new being said there. So that information's not new. Okay. So I think this is a glide. And then a line ride. And we'll just have to hope we can end up hitting the thing. There we go. Nice. Alright, now we're looking for a Riddler puzzle, which kind of at this point, since this is a Bowery, it's easy enough to just, yeah, we've unlocked quite a lot. It's easy enough now to just go here and look. This is the one time where you can actually hear the riddle.
Studies have shown that if you're not on your best behavior, you'll come out crazy. How strange.
Also, there's a destructible item in this map, which still is not marked. So, unless they're counting the one in the museum, which I've forgotten about the museum, we need to go check the museum before we go into the subway and try and get the remaining collectibles there. Right? Yeah, there's like 8 riddles in there. Alright, so inmates behavioral analysis unit. Pause now if you want to read this. And yeah, apparently each row unlocks Catwoman profile things more than anything else. Yeah. One more upgrade and that's pretty much all we can do to help Catwoman, so it's either going to be a case of there's also a Riddler trophy this way though. Ah. You can just open the door. Scrutinize. These are getting more difficult than I like. But it's really not going to behoove you well to upgrade that ability. And there's like nothing here. So, yeah. I mean, what can you really say? Another disappointment. Alright. Well, the good news is, if I get rid of that guy,
No one told me about it.
think we probably need to get rid of that guy first. Who's shooting at me?
What's the bat doing here?
Seriously, who's shooting at me? Where are these guys coming from? Okay. That one, you have a height, and then you have a height, and then you have another height. So, I suspect you're supposed to do this. And then it is seemingly a double tap to glide again. Well, I'm glad I figured that out, but sure feels like there should have been some kind of augmented reality thing. Oh, and that does bring about an interesting question as far as, is there some level to this that is augmented reality focused? Might be interesting if you could just climb up here. I mean, and crawl through that. That definitely looks more doable than it should. Got it. Yep. Yeah, that might very well even explain the don't touch the ground challenges. As for this one, though, there's no getting around it. It's just getting really good at auto leveling. I think you pretty much have to shoot down this way and then try and yeah, this is just going to be several attempts unless I get really, really lucky. I imagine your goal is to hit about there. Hit about there. The laser light signal probably helps you somewhat adjust your shot. Aw, man. Yeah, I think if you can use the dot to point your direction, you're probably fairly safe at that point. Now the irony would be to miss that, or for it to be a timered thing where you only had a certain amount of time to get it. Oh, okay, thank goodness. Thank goodness to be done with another annoying collectible. Unfortunately, I think we are just gonna have to go back to the museum. Yeah. I don't think there's gonna be any other better time to go to the museum.
Where are my smokes? I told you, they took them off me. I tried, but there were too many of them.
Alright, we have another crime in progress, so we'll try and use the crime in progress to do a combo batarang. There we go. That's one more fight mechanic done.
I thought he was gonna kill me. Thanks.
Alright. So that's nice because, yeah, we may very well just have to run around the Bowery trying to find that one security camera. But we're, I think, in a better position for everything else. Aerial attack off a stunned enemy into another. Take out 2 enemies with a back glide boost attack, which I don't know if there's a scenario where we can actually pull that off, which means some of these unlockables may just be forever locked. Or you're going to have to go into a New Game Plus to find the one backpack jammer that exists in the entire game. Line riding, kicking an enemy, silent takedown, well, kicking an enemy is sort of the only ones left. Unless there's just going to be way more enemies in this area. Let's see. I don't know if these are going to be bad guys or if these are the police. Like, for Batman, it may just be the police. But since we...
Batman! It's Batman!
Alright, well, that sucked.
This is where you're gonna die!
We do know it's bad guys now. We don't need to do the combo batarang thing. Did we get the taser thing done? Force an enemy to hit another enemy. No, we never got that done, did we? Alright, well. First trophy is way up here. Which I just didn't see that at all. Because had I looked up high enough to see that, that would have been fairly easy. And I guess that's what the dinosaur exposition is all about, is to try and make you look a little bit higher. Otherwise, I want to mostly try and rush through this whole system. Next one is over here. Which, how would we have reached that area? I think we can get this area, certainly. And then that connects to that. But we can't slide under that by any means. Ah, yeah. Now I remember there was a vent. not a lot of events in the game. And disruptor gun. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't have been able to collect that until this point. And getting Solomon Grundy's character trophy so late in the game is kind of weird. Feels like the game has been left running in about 12 hours now, and it's already starting to, I think, have that video RAM memory glitch, as I'm gonna describe it, where the graphics are just not looking as polished.
I know, man. Catwoman made him look pretty dumb, right?
Made him look like an idiot, that's what she did.
Okay,
One minute he's all, I own this town, and I'll teach Catwoman to screw with me. And the next,
let's see
pinned
what
down,
this
begging
does.
not to be made more ugly than he already is.
It's Batman!
Alright. I'm just gonna try and make enemies hit each other. I think the problem here
This is gonna hurt!
is unless they've got a weapon, they're not likely to swing and hit other people. And the knife guys, alright, there we go. Finally. Let's see if I can jump off into another.
You're gonna die in Arkham City!
Alright, my health is not good enough to really be trying two things at once, so I'm gonna choose to try and just finish off this group now. And yeah, you still have the problem where you just never really get a certainty that the game isn't just tired of you fighting people and it's letting you win. Well, that was a lot of effort to get that fighting mechanic and concept art. And then we're still trying to aerial attack off a stunned enemy into another. And we're still trying to do line rides. And yeah, then the backpack jammer would be the only thing left besides 5 consecutive line launches, vertical takedown, vertical dive of over 50 meters. Like, all of these could certainly be done. It's just how much time am I willing to put into it. Alright, map-wise, there's a destructible item apparently in the middle of this room. Which I guess probably means you could only have hit it in this perspective. Alright, well, almost from only that perspective. It's a remote battering shot. You've got to curve it around. And I would say the penguin statues are not really big enough that you would just have recognized that. So yeah. That explains to me why I wouldn't have been able to find that. We can just run to the next room. Whole bunch of ice. Okay. Now for Batman, he can do this. And then pull himself wherever he wants to go. And I don't think that ice is going to slow down or melt or anything like that. But I have no idea how he would get where you would need to get to that point. Here's an interesting question we should ask ourselves. What happens when we fire at a platoon? Two forces, you become stationary, and he loses momentum. Okay. I mean, I suppose it needed to go one way or the other.
I say we hang here until someone tells us what's happening with Arkham City. Then we decide.
You think? What the hell can they do next? Arkham County? Arkham Country? Big-ass Arkham World?
That's...
Like that'll ever happen.
I don't know, man. These people are crazy, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. I'll grant you that even they are going, hey, this idea is unattainable, really. Let's see. We know there are some collectibles over here, so we'll get these while we're here. Of course, the third game in the, or fourth game in the series, was called Arkham Knight, and it was a bigger Arkham City, slightly bigger. Not really helpful to the game series. One, two. Right.
I'll drink your blood.
I think the problem is you gotta do this, and then I think you have to have like two people knocked down, and this is probably not the place to try and have this fight. The only other thing I could think of is like having the taser guy, and then
Arkham City's where you're gonna die. We'll kill you.
you do this.
We'll kill you. I'll kill you back.
Yeah. That's just not really the...
Bad luck, Batman.
That's really not the right point to try and use that game mechanism. Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of these sections, is that may just be a little
What's
too...
the... Gotta catch... You can't beat me.
One support, like, shielded guy with one armored guy really is a lot. Finally. So now we definitely need to survive this. Come on. And again, I don't know if that was the game being super generous to us and helping us, and I don't know what I really did there to accomplish that fight mechanic trick, but whatever. That makes this real easy now. 2 enemies need to be on the side of a ledge, line rider a couple times, and then yeah, just gliding stuff until we can find somebody with a backpack jammer device, which yep, and you definitely would have not been able to have gotten this before, because this is right where you found Mr. Freeze the first time. So that kind of makes sense. That would be Ra's al Ghul. And I totally get the idea that you wouldn't have walked in here and seen that there was a Riddler trophy in that treasure chest. Although maybe you would have seen it. No, I don't think you would have, because it's at a higher elevation. This still is not moving at a brisk pace, and now, many years later, this is a case where it would be nice if there was an abridged version of these kinds of games, and you could much quicker reach a consensus and get the collectibles in a much quicker action. Right. Seems to me like up there might be an entrance way with a line rider, which means this may very well just be a line rider puzzle to go all the way this way. You kind of figure that the shark would attack you or something, but no. Is there a Riddler trophy over here? Yes, there is. We now know how to get that fairly easily. Just throw that in the ground, jump down to it, use this to pull ourselves to it. Okay. That's weird that you can zoom in on that, but whatever. Right. There's no high place, though. So if it is a case that you're supposed to get way over there, I don't know. It really feels like it would make a lot more sense for you to simply be able to get to the top of the octopus. Like, you can't stand up on this table or anything. So this is about the highest height one can reach. Unless it's this octopus leg. It would almost make sense. You don't seem to be able to perch on top of those poles either. Or it doesn't really seem like you're supposed to be on top of that location. But this barbed wire does indicate to me that there is a passageway. Which maybe that means there's a different way back here that I missed. Well, no, I don't find it particularly believable that there would be something I missed that far away. So is it possible? Is a glide puzzle? I have a hard time believing that. If you were to try and glide, you're not going to get very far. There's not enough room to go downward or upward. There's not really any ledges or anything. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any tunnels or anything. You can just barely see anything. And that is the problem with this game, is that everything is just incredibly dark. Yeah, we can barely see some fencing up there, whereas like up here, there's no fencing. There's no way to get to the top of the Iceberg Lounge. Sign there. Doesn't seem like this is designed to let you get any higher. Plus, if you're perched like this, you can't line ride anyways. No specific angle seems to indicate that you actually would. Let's go ahead and make this, and I think there's stuff this way, so we should at least get those two.
I say we hang here
At least we'll get some action.
happening with Arkham.
The bat's here.
Alright.
This'll be easy, bat.
Yeah. Line riding and kicking into somebody would have been an option there. And the line riding and taking down people will be an option in this next room. Otherwise, we are done. This is a fairly deadly room. I don't think, unfortunately, you can line ride and kick somebody. With this current setup. I could try and grapnel boost two guys, though. Let's see. No. These guys are probably
Someone's
not.
stuck up here. Get over here. Get over here. There's someone up there.
Yeah, they're probably not enough of a concern, though, to really need to take these guys out as much as they're happening. Is this guy gonna come this direction, or
Found him.
are they just looking around?
There you are, Bat.
I-
I found Batman. He's. Huh?
He got away. He's
I got him. He's over here.
Yeah, you kind of go in this weird cycle where you both really don't have time to take out large groups of people, and you really don't have time to take out small groups of people when you're trying to pull off one of those tricks. Alright. There's one apparently right in front of my eyes here with just a hack thing. And you don't really get encouraged to look up that much, so I'm not surprised you don't. I didn't see that. It's a weird situation, certainly, though, because the only thing encouraging you to look up really is the Riddler collectible. So I think they kind of are doing their job as intended, in that they make you look around the map slightly more. But I would heavily argue the fact that you have like an entire woolly mammoth here and it's just dark and brown, it's not interesting visually to look at. You just walk around this whole room and you don't even notice it. I've been in this room 3 times and I have not taken notice of the woolly mammoth until the 3rd time. Let me ask a question here. This would be crazy if this worked. But can we get the Catwoman trophies now, post-game? No. You can't. Alright. It does certainly beg a question as to why the Riddler would specifically put riddles for Catwoman, though. I don't think the Riddler particularly thinks Catwoman is the world's greatest detective or riddle solver, so why would he waste his energy on what he would almost certainly look down upon as a inferior challenger? I think I've got it on this. This is a line ride in this direction. Nope. Not quite that direction, obviously. They put, I don't know why they specifically put a spear there to bounce in the wrong way, but whatever. And then we've got to slow down and shoot this way. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe. If it's not that, then it would be just going up to the top there, which that would work just as well. So, really all I need to figure out is, can I line ride in this specific direction to... In fact, this is probably a great place to try the 5 line rides in a row without touching the ground. So, get past that point and then aim this direction. If this isn't right, which apparently it isn't, but we do know what we're doing now. Alright, well, this way. 1. Aim center in the screen this way for 2. Center in the screen 3. This way for 4. This is 5. There we go. And I don't think anything's going to kill me here, so I think we're safe to pretty much ignore that. Yeah, it kind of feels like this room was intentionally built to be the place. Alright. And hopefully we don't crash into something else. It is kind of a great place to do all this line riding though, because you're not going to really struggle with enemies other than the shark in the water, and the shark seems to be gone, so I don't know what we did with what happened to the shark.
Another way.
Sure would have been irritating if you'd been told to go to the Iceberg Lounge at one point in the story you were, and you found that door was blocked and you had to run all the way to the other exit. Even now, this is fairly irritating. It feels like there should have been a quicker way out of the building. Like, we can just time ourselves here and see that there's a lot of time and a lot of action required to get out of this area. And that's just basic dungeon creation 101, where you always have a quick escape or quick exit, one-way exit at the end of any path. Yeah, and there's really no excuse at all. I don't know.
The bats!
Interesting.
It is him! Kill him!
I believe Strange thought he could just kill us all.
Okay, one more thing to do, I suppose, and that's find the security camera. Security camera, security camera, security camera. My guess is it's probably
Arkham City now.
looking in on a street, or it's possibly very low. But if it were very low, let me just double check that I'm in the right place. This is the Bowery, and yeah, the Bowery is missing its Tiger security camera and the other thing. So you know the relay hub has to be, we probably know exactly where that is actually. And I guess the security cameras aren't just going to be in back alley areas, or we should be able to see them. It's probably not as close to the... Probably not as close to the museum as I think.
This tower just exploded. Did Batman blow it up?
You can only go so far before you're into Park Row also. So it's pretty much this line. Which probably means it is lower to the ground. We already collected this one, right?
Why doesn't someone just pick up those phones?
See, these guys have guns. You'd think that that would be what a Tiger thing is. Notice we're not seeing any green characters anymore. That's a regular person. Is that a watcher?
Arkham City,
Yes,
Arkham
it is.
Asylum.
Do we talk to this guy?
The moment is close. The truth will soon be shown.
Okay, so that was the last
The
one.
4 symbols create a master sigil that looks like it fits over the map of Arkham City.
Great, except for most of them are in the restricted zone, so yeah, I guess we'll check that out. Oh, wait, no, you're supposed to move it and rotate it, which rotate or zoom. Well, we just found him in each of those places, and my controller is vibrating when we're close to this, so interesting. It doesn't move in that many degrees of freedom, so it definitely starts vibrating my controller when you're here. So I must need to move this just slightly to the left or right or up and down. And this sort of feels like the location in which each location where we found him. Oh, you were just
The
supposed to
symbols have marked a
couple.
point on the map of Arkham City.
You were just copying all the dots that were already there. Okay, great. We have a new thing. Yeah, I would have thought that the tiger ability, the tiger shutdown switch would be on this building, but I don't think it is. I think this once again is really highlighting.
Croc got him for sure.
Those are like just generic bad guys, where the yellow guys, I guess, have guns.
This place a prison.
There's Batman here.
I don't know what would have kept you in the Bowery enough, though, to explain why so much of
Killer? Sounds like the sick kind of thing he'd do.
why you would spend so much time around here. Right, there's the tiger security thing, which you'd think at this point turning this off would also shut down the cameras, which...
Joker's not dead.
Oh,
He can't be.
I see. Well, that's completely useless to me, isn't it? Like, there's literally 2 remaining breakable objects in the world, and one of them is in the still mill. And had I not been able to find all the security cameras up until this point, then I would have not been able to actually get the
Gotta get out of this nut house.
level ups. And there it is. Way down there.
Woman shouldn't get involved in other people's business. She could get hurt.
Okay. Sorry for that brief pause there, as I was just thinking things through. So we got another penguin tape here. We're still potentially going to unlock a character, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this character is some like DLC character added later. As far as the Arkham City stories, seems like we'll get everything. Which, honestly, I don't know why you'd play a New Game Plus if you have all the collectibles done in the first game. We're on the verge of being able to level up one more time. That would help Catwoman. Oddly, we also have proven at this point that you don't need the Catwoman trophies to unlock Row, which really makes it seem like it's supplemental. We just unlocked everything in the museum too. So, yep. Let's see. Next, dive for 50 meters, grapnel for 250, glide for 150. I'm still not sure what the biggest area would be for that. Park row's done. Amusement mile's not done. I suppose going to Amusement Mile and finding the tiger thing would show me where this last security camera is, and that's nice. Otherwise, some of these other ones don't matter. Yeah, I would feel like you very potentially could beat everything in an hour or two on this game normally, but I'm not willing to make that statement because it's just been so random. There is also still a possibility that the acts of violence are in a specific area. So even if we get everything done with the Bowery, which we mostly have, that doesn't inherently mean that we won't have to run around the Bowery some more trying to find the last acts of violence. We have this Watcher in the Wings mission. We have the Riddler hostage mission. We have the augmented reality mission. Which maybe now that I have that new gliding ability that I should have had the whole time, I can accomplish that. It still makes a lot of sense to go through the subway area and the Wonder City area first, and try and get everything there, and then we'll get back to the augmented reality mission. I don't think there's any way to trigger the end of the game again, so I don't think going to Wonder City starts anything again. If anything, what it might do, and I would be willing to do this trade-off, is we may get to this point, go to Wonder City, get to the top of Wonder Tower, use that as a gliding point and a diving point. Diving 50 meters, maybe the first time, and then trying to swoop up from diving 50 meters and floating without grapnel assistance for 150 meters, going in what would be the furthest distance, which really should be this way, I would say, or maybe this way. That's probably about the best way to go. Now, at some point though, we do still have an actual story mode with Catwoman, so there's, once you have all the upgrades and if you've done all the Batman stuff, it's going to make a lot of sense just to play as Catwoman and try and accomplish as much as possible as Catwoman. It probably makes a lot of sense to switch to Catwoman and go into the steel mill. I don't think there's any other area that you would want to enter as Catwoman, since these other locations have been already done. Yeah. Just the museum and the steel mill, and hope that in the steel mill we can get, you probably aren't going to be able to get all 6 of the Batman and Catwoman trophies on the steel mill. We may have to go in the steel mill 2 or 3 times. And as far as percentage completed, I suspect we still are teetering around 70% completed at most. Without doing the challenges, we may never get much higher than 80%. Now, there is something about the challenges that occurred to me. The reason I didn't want to play the challenges in Arkham Asylum is because they were fighting challenges, and they were very focused around getting a certain number of combos and getting the free flow fighting mechanic to work in the game. It may be the case that the challenges in this game are more stealth focused or more just reasonable challenges in general. And if that's the case, then it is possible I might be willing to give them a try. It's also very possible, though, that I try them and they're very difficult and it's just not worth the time to grind it out. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.